Double D? Yeah, man. Well, turn it up, man.
Let's just go in and, like, kill all the orcs, right? They're the bad guys. Who gives a shit? We just hack and slash and we loot their dead bodies, right? Hack and slash, kill them all, you know, conquer the infidels.
Boy, that campaign sounds like a barrel of fun, doesn't it?
But I am telling you right now, that mother back there is not real.
Somebody who's opening a refrigerator and leaning in, right, is the language of a woman. Somebody who's opening the refrigerator and being cut off halfway through that lean is the voice of like a mermaid or a siren, right?
Honey, what do you mean additional benefits? We turned 65, we got Medicare. That's all there is to it, right?
I'm talking about Medicare Part C, commonly called Medicare Advantage. We have traditional Medicare, which is only Medicare Parts A and B, but not Part C.
Wait.
Honestly, guys like me can't leave soon enough.
We gotta put a little hot sauce on the taco, you know what I mean?
We want this dwarf to be the dwarfiest dwarf.
Right.
We want the elf to be the elfiest elf.
And just the dashiest dash of Tabasco.
Their voices need to carry across water.
I'm a creative. It's a huge drain, right? Because fans can be awful.
You, the one who is moving now. Answer! Experience beige.
When you say white lives matter, they don't. White lives don't matter because white lives aren't a thing.
I disagree. I disagree, Gary.
Lutherville, Marina Del X, Otisburg. Otisburg?
Where's this monster? She's got her own place, man.
Otisburg?
It's a little bitty place.
Otisburg?
Okay, I just wipe it off. That's all. It's a little town.
Okay. We'll do it live. Okay. We'll do it live. Fuck it. Do it live. I'll write it and we'll do it live. Fucking thing sucks.
In 5, 4, 3.
Great sandwich.
Thank you. I enjoyed having you here. You're a very good co-host.
It's never easy, people. It's never easy.
Sorry for the delay.
I'm not even going to waste time because she was so cool. And she helped us out with our audio bugaboos, I hope. Shae the Red.
Hi.
Hi, Shae. Hi, Shae.
Hello.
Thank you for everything.
Hey, look, I get it. We've been streaming. We've got our channel for like over 3 years. And the other day, I fucked up our outro and it like cut back to us. And so I was like, are you new here? I'm like, I'm sorry. I forgot how to do everything.
Our audio problems are legendary here. And like I said, it's because we're sort of in the same room and we're always fighting cancellate, like echoing and, stuff like that being too, then the game being too low. So then nobody can hear Rogan. Well, we got to turn it up. Then all of a sudden I'm echoing. So tell us if we're good. I think
everyone's saying good. Double D that you're too low.
Too low. Well, I can fix that.
Kick it up. Kick it up.
Yeah.
I can kick it up a notch.
Copenheiser says use your man voice.
Oh, wow.
Oh, geez.
Shots fired.
Ouch.
That hurts. How about that, guys? Is that a little better?
I mean, you sound fine to me, so.
Yeah. So yeah, these guys sometimes they just like to mess with us a little.
Oh, trust me, I get it. I have guys in my audience that like it when my cosplay covers my face specifically. They're like, I really like it when you can't see Shae because she's wearing a mask on her cosplay, and I'm like, thank you.
Now you know they are not honest brokers. I mean, come on now. Who would not want to see?
We already got a tip. We already got a tip in the tip jar.
Oh, and it's from my buddy DM James. The women. How much for the women?
That's a quote from the Blues Buster. Blah. Oh my God.
Blues Brothers.
Blues Brothers. Yes. Blah, blah, blah.
How much?
Apologize.
Can we? If we put you
how much? You cannot afford this. I promise.
Good answer.
I didn't think so.
Good answer.
I'm pricey. I'm a pricey hoe up in here.
Now, do you have a hard out at 8? Are you doing your stream tonight?
No, actually, unfortunately, one of our members has Sai, actually my co-host, the other half of Red Valkyrie, is basically locked in a dungeon with no internet, so we cannot do our D&D stream like we normally do, unfortunately.
So you're locked in here with us.
Yeah, apparently. It's okay. I can fake a computer malfunction at any time.
Weirdest thing happened at work the other day. So I'm friends with this girl at work, and last year she gave me a tip. We needed our front steps done. And I can do some handiwork, but, you know, I wanted them done right. I wanted them done by somebody who knew what the F they were doing. She's like, oh, I got the perfect guy. He came, he did a great job, you know, worked really good, a reasonable price. That was last year. So my wife's like, hey, you know, there's an area in our attic, you know, where it needs to be re-drywalled. And I'm like, okay, I'll call that guy. And I'm like, but first I got to get his number from this girl I know at work. So I go into work the other day. I'm like, hey, can I have the number of that guy you gave me, you know, last year, you know, did our steps. She's like, oh, yeah, he's dead.
Oh.
Oh,
ouch.
like, she's like, yeah, he had a massive heart attack 6 months ago. I'm like, oh, my God.
Oh.
I'm like, wow. She's like, yeah, he was doing some work for my brother. He didn't show up for like 3 days, and which was, you know, not like him. So we called, and yeah, somebody picked up the phone and was like, I'm sorry, he had a heart attack and passed away.
Double D.
Wow.
Tons of people are still saying you're way too low.
Which is so weird to me because I can hear all of you fine.
It's weird because, all right, I'll do it.
Go up to 200%. Just blast everyone's eardrums. It's fine.
Yeah, I mean, how about now? Watch, it'll start echoing.
You already are. You've been echoing, unfortunately.
Yeah, boy.
From what the chat is saying, Shae, Mouse, and Rogan sound good. Double D is too low and has an echo. Taurus says, fix your mic.
Yeah. I tell you what, you knew this day would come. You guys can carry the show. I'm going to go back out, okay? So start the interview with Shae.
There we go.
Okey-dokey.
Shae, we're going to put your banner up there right now.
Ooh.
And tell us a little bit about your channel and your merch.
Awesome. Okay, so we actually have our main channel, and then recently I did a spinoff. So our main channel is Red Valkyrie, and Cyborg Valkyrie, who is in the chat. Hello, love. Thank you for joining. That's my co-host. So Cy is actually the one who kind of strong-armed me into coming back to YouTube. I was a part of YouTube back in the beginning, and I was like I think I was 22. I couldn't handle the internet and the people, and so it was short-lived, and I basically got bullied off the internet.
Oh, really?
For a while.
They bullied you off.
Yeah, you know, when you're 22 and you're not as confident as you should be. Yeah. A whole lot of people were like, I don't even know why anybody watches this channel. She's not even that pretty. Her teeth are all fucked up, and I was like,
well, I think you're pretty and your teeth look just fine.
Well, thank you. But yeah, so Cy basically kind of harassed me into starting a YouTube channel with them, and we centered it around indie comics because that's kind of what we were into and what we were, you know, paying attention to. And very slowly I started like dabbling in cosplay. Every time we would have an indie creator on, I would do something that was vaguely reminiscent of one of their characters, and people started to really like it. So it blew up into I am building like cosplays every week.
Oh, really?
That is awesome.
Yeah, it's nuts. We've had some pretty crazy ones. I don't know if you guys have seen the Little Mermaid, but she don't wear much, and there was a lot of spirit gum and a whole lot of praying that entire show. Like, please do not let anything fall. It's a good one. I'm not gonna lie. I was pretty proud of it. There was a starfish. There was a lot going on.
Well, there's your confidence right there. A handful of years later, bam, strong as ever.
Right. I'm like, well, now literally, like, people could be like, I saw your titty, and I'd be like, congrats?
Yeah. Nipple
like, I don't
like
really.
In Seinfeld.
Okay.
Next time, send me some money.
Yeah, like, honestly, I feel like that deserves a chat. Like, where is my super chat for that? Seriously. But yeah, so we started out doing just comic interviews for indie creators and I started doing cosplays, it got a lot more elaborate. And then it turned into us doing, Sai and I are both writers and editors. And so we started doing what we called writing prose, which was a play on words, and the amount of people that didn't get that killed me. But we brought a lot of people, you know, more professional people than us and people who've been in the industry for a while, and brought them on and talked about various aspects of writing and how to tell a good story.
Now, on your YouTube channel, I was on it today. A lot of, like, you're doing seasons. Is there seasons of?
Kind of.
Okay.
Yeah. Basically, so like when we have Dice Dames and Dudes, which is normally what we do on Wednesdays, but unfortunately, thanks to absolutely terrible internet, we had to cancel. So we're here with you guys.
But thank you. That's a misfortune in our favor.
Well, so
we
we had a season 1 where we had a different DM and we were kind of playing through some crazy stuff, and it got real interesting. Apparently I could only fail upward, which was hilarious. Like I would roll a 1 and I would trip and fall, and then he'd be like, okay, now let's see how bad it is. And then I'd roll like a nat 20 and he'd be like, so somehow you tripped and fell and flung your axe and it cut the bad guy in half. And I'm like, that checks. Like
Nice.
in real life, that would be me.
Nice.
Is that the one where he had you start the game naked?
That
not you, your character.
That was
I heard that.
that
on
was
this
a
week.
different.
I thought I missed
thankfully.
something.
No, that was a different one. So this was the one that we did on our show that we deemed Dice Dames and Dudes. So we're triple D instead of D&D.
Okay.
Because it's funnier. Look, I like a play on words, and I know why people are coming to our channel. As you know.
Oh, of course.
But yeah, so we have Dice Dames and Dudes, and that was the first season of that. We had a different GM, and then we kind of flipped the script a bit, and now we have the GM that we have now, Woodrow, who is phenomenal, and we're probably going to be adding another character soon, and at some point Sai's gonna DM, and we'll see what the fuck happens then. Sai's crazy.
If you guys couldn't tell, Double D is back now. Hopefully the echo problems are taken care of.
If not, it's the Crazy Mouse show.
Yeah.
So.
It's not
What can you do?
bad enough for you to leave.
Well, I'm not rolling with a the first mic was a Shure. It's not like a cheapo mic. It's like an M7 Shure mic. So it's like this thing has been nothing but trouble. So
see, you got to
so
go
the
Yeti.
feedback in the chat is that Double D sounds way better, but no one has heard Rogan talk in a while.
Oh.
But that's just because he hasn't talked in a while.
I'm listening, honestly.
It's been the Shae show. What are you guys talking
is the
about?
Shae
I
show.
run this
Yeah.
bitch.
Damn.
if you guys want to hear
Holy
Rogan
cow.
talk, just tune in to the last hour of our last live stream where
He had a lot to say.
He had a lot to say. The quiet man was a.
Oh yeah. Oh, I'm blushing now.
Yeah, Rogan had a run-in with the law when he was much younger. He is one of the nicest dudes you'd ever want to meet right now.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, there was a time, age 21 maybe.
Who didn't?
I don't know.
Exactly. Shae.
Right.
I had a rumor for a while that I had stabbed a kid and was a transfer student back from juvie. And the best part is I spent every single year with the same kids, and they just forgot that they knew me. And we're like,
you rolled with it?
I didn't at first, because I was like, what the hell? Like, I've never been in a fight in my life. And then they went to my boyfriend at the time, and they were like, are you sure you should be dating her? I heard that she stabbed a kid. And he was like, well, yeah, but I mean, that asshole deserved it. And I was like, oh.
Nice.
I was like, well, I guess I stabbed a kid. Cool.
The court of public opinion is the highest court in the land. If everyone
Absolutely.
thinks you did it, you did it.
The dude had
People
your back.
stop messing with me.
That's right.
How
People are like, she's crazy.
How did you get into art? Was that a lifelong thing? Is that something you just
Okay.
discovered at a certain point?
Funniest story about this. So in high school, the boyfriend that I had in high school, really big artist, actually was, married to him for a time and everything. Very, very talented artist. And he convinced me to go into art class so we would have another period together. And I went into art class and we had to do a pencil sketch. And I was like, oh, doing a baby should be easy. Which is, if you've done art, you know that is like not even remotely the easiest thing to do. I was like, babies, super simple. Baby on a fur rug? Got it. It was so bad. It became the like cornerstone for everyone if they were like dogging on their art. Even my teacher was like, look, it isn't baby on a fur rug. And like, that was where we were. So I stopped for years and years and years and was like, there's no way I can't do art. Like, I'm just not talented. I'm crafty and I can build things, but I can't do art. I just suck at it. And when I met Sai actually started encouraging me to kind of explore more things that I always thought I couldn't do. I thought I couldn't do cosplay. I started doing cosplay. People started liking it. And I was like, hey, maybe I could paint. Who knows?
Sai sounds like your muse.
Yeah, Sai
is. Sai's like my saving grace. I'm so lucky I met them. They're the best ever, and they've always been super encouraging, which, you know, I mean, like when you do art and you're like, it really sucks, and they're like, it's amazing, and I'm like, you're biased. Like, I can't go with what you say, but thank you for the support. And so I kept going, and the thing that's really funny is I've always been interested in art, and I've been, you know, I've helped manage a lot of artists, and I've worked with a lot of people, and I've spent a lot of time focusing on how art works and how to make it look really good. But I didn't have the muscle memory. I didn't have like the actual hand-eye coordination. And so when I first started, it was like, that's good. You're sure, just keep trying. And I was like, oh, that's thanks. And then I found this style. And I was like, I found this style and I found gouache. And I put them together and everyone was like, this is what you need to do. I was like, yeah. Oh, okay. Is this it? Did I find it? Like, awesome. Let's do this now.
Yeah, you're kind of. I think you're on to something here. It kind of reminds me of those old Nagel prints from the 80s, but like kind of updated. That's a compliment because I always kind of like those. Very strong. I really like these.
Well, so I'm a person who loves bright colors, and I've actually had in previous relationships, I've been accused of like dressing and doing my makeup and everything like Skittles vomit. And I now wear that as a point of pride where I'm like, this is what I'm doing. And did you guys happen to catch the art auction that we just did this last weekend?
I saw one piece. You had one piece go for like $200-300, right?
Almost 300. It's actually this one right here.
Can you click on that, Scott?
Oh wait, one second.
This is going to be up
second.
on merch for sure because I loved it so much. But
get rid of all of us and just put her on there. There you go.
I like that. I like that a lot.
Yeah, it was really fun. So I started with finding like digital artists that I really liked what they did and seeing if I could replicate it in gouache. And then after, like the Neon Dream is one that I kind of replicated. And I was like, you know, I don't want to just feel like a hack. Like, I know that this is how artists start out, is you look at something and see if you can do something similar and you know, then build your own style from there. Right. And so I was like, well, I'm going to take a digital artist's thing that he has, but I'm going to isolate it and do geometric shapes because I think it'll look cool. And I love splatter. Like, I love messy, disgusting art. And so I just started messing around with it, came up with this, and then everyone was like, oh my gosh, I love it. You need to do more of that. And I'm like, cool. That's awesome. And this was the day of the auction that I sat down and did these because I haven't been able to.
Oh, no, really?
Yeah, I haven't been able to paint. Like I'm pretty sure I have ADHD and I've wanted to paint and I've literally sat down and just been like, I physically can't. Like I can't.
It's like
pick
a block.
up a paintbrush. Yeah.
You know, you just can't like.
Yeah, I couldn't move past it, and so I painted something that a friend of mine was like, well, here's a layout of mine. You can paint over it. So just like Lightbox, copy it, paint over it, make it yours. And if you want to sell it, sell it. And so I painted it and I looked at it and I was like, I hate everything about what I just did. Like, this isn't me at all. This looks terrible. I despise it. And I guess I woke up just so pissed off the morning of the auction that I was like, I don't even have anything that's mine. Like, everything I have, I hate. And so I finally just said, I was like, fuck it, I'm going to paint. We're going to see what happens. And then I made those two pieces and was like, oh, Okay.
So the painter blocks over.
You push through
Yeah.
This one, there's a lot of them. They come up frequently.
Oh, okay.
It's a recurring theme.
I know
It's
what
fine.
you mean about a block because I use acrylics when I paint. I like it just on a
Yes.
blank canvas. And I'll paint a canvas, and then with acrylics, you have to let it dry overnight until you want to kind of paint over it almost. And I'll paint a bunch of canvases for things I want to paint, and then when it comes time to actually paint them, I don't have a block on doing it. It's just finding the time to do it.
I totally understand what you're talking about.
Well, yep.
Oh yeah.
I do acrylic too. This one's a mixed media.
So how
that
big of a
nobody
canvas
likes.
is that? I use 8x10 canvas.
This one I think is it's like it's not 11 by 17. It's a little bit bigger than that.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I like how you mentioned earlier about bright colors, and someone in the chat mentioned it as well. And I use the brightest colors I can possibly find as well for my for the painting itself. The canvas might just be a solid neutral color, but then I use bright colors to make stuff pop right off of them.
Yeah, and I have I literally have, so I like to paint weird items. So I have like one box off to the side here that's just a whole bunch of canvases that I've done backgrounds to, or I've like put something on and then haven't touched.
Yeah,
and then
I have a pantry full of canvases that I started.
And then I have like blank canvases that I'm scared of because there's
Yeah.
nothing on them at all.
Yep.
But then I have a box down here of like weird shit that I just haven't painted. Like I have 2 skateboard decks that I'm gonna paint at some point. I have a sculpture from, do you know who 1000 is?
I personally don't.
No.
So 1000 is a guy on artist Twitter. I'm gonna see if this will keep my camera from not focusing on me. So he's an artist on YouTube. He's a graffiti artist, and he does like murals and stuff like that.
With spray
and
paint?
Yes, and it's so good. Everything that he does is like super saturated color. So clearly, I was like, "Ooh, what do you do?" And like all of his characters have ridiculous colored like skin and everything. Yeah, I did. What's up, Immortal? I did. I painted myself blue. I've been blue many times. Oh my gosh, you all love
Smurf
skin.
blue or
Smurf blue.
Okay. What was the one from X-Men? What's her name?
Mystique.
Mystique. Yeah,
That
that's like
it's
a
that
different...
color blue.
Okay.
Like close to that color blue, yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, so like I have things like this is a 10 character that he had made up into a thing. So this I was gonna paint to be like Red Valkyrie. I was gonna have a red and a blue wing and all that kind of stuff.
What would you use to paint that? Would acrylic work on that? Yeah.
Yeah, I would do acrylic on a lot of these kind of crazy stuff. Although apparently you can use gouache on a canvas, and I didn't know that was possible. So yeah, I was like, oh, can you? I'm gonna have to try this because gouache is like if watercolor and acrylic had a perfect little baby.
A baby on a fur rug.
It's a baby on a fur rug that has one gangly ginger arm and one ham hock, and his eyes are off center. But you know what? He's beautiful to someone.
Amen.
That's right.
Amen.
But yeah, I honestly just got into, and the thing that kind of started me like messing around with painting again was I made a joke on our channel once, and I've learned you don't joke with the internet because that will become your thing. So we were doing a fundraising event for somebody who's had a giant house fire. They lost everything. And we got a bunch of artists to come on, and we were like, hey, if you donate something, then one of the artists on panel, like somebody on panel will make you like a quick digital piece and send it to you for free, like for your donation. And so somebody donated, and they were like, well, what does Shae do? And I was like, you don't want something from Shae? The best I can do is a mean hand turkey.
Oh, what?
And I was the only one who got any requests. Like I had so many amazing artists cycle through, and it started with one of the artists donated and said, Shae, make me a Nightcrawler hand turkey. And I was like, oh, Fuck.
What
how
box
do
did
I-
you paint yourself into there?
Yeah, so unfortunately, and I actually have examples that are close by.
Bring it.
Unfortunately, I apparently am known for
look at
elaborate
that.
hand turkeys.
Ooh, yeah. There you go.
They're
There
all
you go.
terrible. And we've actually, at one point, I cast my hand in plaster and made a hand turkey sculpt of somebody's character.
Okay. And
So,
we
like, we
got
do crazy
DM James sent us something.
GM
What is up,
James.
James?
Important question. Who is your favorite Space Marine Primarch?
Oh, so are we talking 40K?
Oh, yeah.
I don't really like the Space Marines. If I had to do it, it would be Sisters of Battle.
I am Death Guard and Imperial Guard. I'm the two guards.
See,
Yeah,
I
got
played
two
Eldar.
armies.
So did I.
I played
Rogan's an
I
Eldar.
played Space Elves.
Loved them.
Yeah. Oh, and look, my warp spiders nuked armies. Okay. I painted up my warp spiders to be like little venomous, super colorful actual spiders. So their jump packs all were different colorful spider designs. And they would just jump behind enemy lines, kill everybody, and then zoop out.
Second
and be
edition
like,
was fantastic.
It was
Yeah,
fun.
I heard
haven't
you
played in a long
you do like painting figures. I heard from the stream you were on T-shirted. You like Malifaux, right?
Malifaux was my jam. I haven't played it in a million years, but Malifaux was my jam, and I love modding bases, like especially if they have really interesting characters that you can do really fun things with. That's one of my favorite things to mess with, because I have polymer clay and stuff like that. Like I'm used to sculpting.
Sweet.
I would love at the end of this show and next week we find out that your painter's block is over.
Absolutely.
That would be wonderful.
Yeah.
I don't know if it will totally be over.
You never know.
Because like ADHD, it's like a constant thing. So who knows? But I mean,
Giveth
I
and
think
taketh
it's
away.
Yeah.
a lot. And like I've had some pieces, so I don't know if you guys have any of this when you paint or create anything, but I'll have some pieces that I can only do if I'm in like if I'm in I probably should be talking to a therapist level of like stress and anxiety. I've sat down on my floor with a canvas and literally finger painted a background because I just needed the textile feel. And then waited, weeks. I was fine, everything was good, and then things got bad again, and I like wrote out all of my fears and my like inadequacies and everything, and then scribbled through all of them, and then painted a woman screaming, and that was the top half of her head. And that's one of my favorite pieces. And it was hilarious. Like I put it up. I had one of my mentors from the military who messaged me, and he was like, I have never understood art, and I've never had a painting make me feel. And he was like, can I buy a print of this? Because this is the first time. And I was like, hold on. Let me put it up on something real quick. And he bought it and hung it up in his house.
Well, putting some real pieces of yourself in your art resonates with other people.
Right. Well, and that's... I'm a very I like to connect, and so I like to understand people. I like to understand what people are thinking and feeling. And no, Steel Mongoose, I work through it with violence too. It's just, I find legal violence to do.
How long have you been out of the service, Shae?
I'm still active duty.
Oh, you're still active duty. Okay.
Yep. I've got 3 more years, under 3 years, and then I can retire.
Wow.
Retire.
Oh, nice.
Wow.
Yeah. I've been in for 17 years.
That's outstanding.
That's such a long
DM
time.
James
I'm so
has
ready.
a question for you. He wants to know what branch.
I'm in the Air Force, also known as the Chair Force. And if you have a problem with that, I'm just gonna say, don't get mad that I can read a contract.
Yeah, I believe James was in the military too. Not the Air Force though.
Nice. Most people are like, oh, you were Chair Force, and I'm like, yes, I read my contract and knew that I wasn't gonna go anywhere.
All right, I'm going to do something here. This is some for the chat. I already put it up here earlier. All right, guys.
There we go.
Going to put this up for a few minutes. What is this, huh?
What is this?
This is a map of Double D's map of mystery.
Ah.
So
Okay.
Keep it up for a little while. Chat. Do you got any ideas? What is this a map?
Do you know
of?
when I saw that when it was up? The first thing I thought of was that Star Trek ship.
The Enterprise.
The Enterprise. That's the first thing I thought of.
I think you just made Cy cry a little.
Like a deconstructed Enterprise. You know?
Right. Half taken down.
Yeah. So yeah, if you guys, I tell you what, if you guys have a decent description maybe of who's in these rooms, you know what these rooms are, and you want to come on later, I will throw the link out there later on. You guys can pop in, and I don't know, you'll win bragging rights. So
I like
again,
how
I'll
5 is so tiny. Like all the other numbers are big, and then it's like 5.
Oh, you mean right here?
Yeah, the little
That
tiny
is
5.
that is actually a small S. That is a
It's an
secret
S.
door. It is a secret door, Shae.
Secret door.
Yeah.
I like secret doors.
Yeah, it adds more mystery to it, does it not? All right, so yeah, take a look at it, guys. I'll put it up later, but maybe it'll start germinating. Now, Shae, do you slug?
Do I slug?
Do you know what slugging is?
Are you talking about slugging through, or?
All right, so Vaseline put
no.
this out today. Here you go.
Why?
This is the actual Vaseline. Before slugging
No.
and after slugging.
Stop.
And everybody was like, "What are you doing?" You know, it's Vaseline. This looks we all know what this looks like. And then apparently this is after slugging. Well, it turns out slugging, I guess, is just caking your face with Vaseline.
No.
Just letting it sit there for a while. It'll take away wrinkles.
That's oil of Olay.
Yeah. Well, apparently it works, but whoever was responsible for this tweet, I think they might
Do
need
not
to be
understand that donuts are not an appropriate use.
What?
A little little Freudian slip there.
You know what it was.
That's kind of what I thought too. I'm like, is slugging like bleach because it's white, it's smooth, and I'm like, well, maybe. And I'm like, boy, why are they advertising this?
So I can tell you, I'm a marketing major right now, and I can tell you, while I entirely disagree with the route that they took, how much you want to bet Vaseline trends because of this?
Oh,
They
100%.
knew what they were doing.
They knew exactly what they were doing.
They knew exactly what they were doing. They were like, it looks like a butthole, but if anybody says anything about it, we have plausible deniability because it's an unglazed donut and a beautiful glazed glass skin complexion donut. And it's like,
yeah, get your mind out of the gutter.
Yeah, exactly. They get to pretend that you're the perv, and it's like, no, but you knew what this looked like. And they're like, what? No. Oh no. Oh.
Person who thought of Star Trek because Charlotte said Wrath of Khan, and even though I don't know Star Trek, I do know that
You do
from Star Trek.
Do know Wrath of Charlotte. All right, well, if that didn't grab you, maybe something else
grabbed a lot of things.
we can look at. Yeah, it grabbed you. All right. All right.
They're gonna trend like Bud Light.
Yeah, exactly.
That's from Psy right there.
Exactly. Psy knows.
All right, guys, you've seen her, and I'm kind of falling for this chick. Now, these guys might not have because they're not on Twitter, but this was going around Twitter all week. This happened on a plane.
I just kept seeing the screenshot. I actually haven't seen this.
All right, you ready?
No.
Here she goes.
I'm telling you, I'm getting the fuck off, and there's a reason why I'm getting the fuck off, and everyone can either believe it or they cannot believe it. I don't give two fucks, but I am telling you right now, that motherfucker back there is not real. And you can sit on this plane and you can fucking die with them or not. I'm not going to.
Okay.
Yeah, she's seeing lizard people, I guess.
What? Like a V?
Yep. That's
Oh
Yeah.
man, the V real.
Now, there's a couple levels here. Like, yeah, apparently some guy came forward and said, yeah, I was the guy she was sitting next to, and he's all tatted up. But I don't know if that was a hoax or not. I just know there's a lot of guys are on Twitter, and they're going like, fellas, yes or no, would you?
Oh.
No.
Let me play it again.
It's not worth it.
I was going to say, you have to consult the, the hot and crazy axis.
Oh, she's way off balance for
yeah.
that. There's
Oh, yeah.
not.
Oh, yeah.
She is not pretty enough for the amount of crazy that you got there.
She's not a supermodel, but boy, I don't know. There's a
Well,
lot
so
of guys out there who are. Go ahead.
Here's the problem: is when you have a woman and then they're like, "I'm telling you," like, okay, no, I'm out already. Like anything that you have to say, the fact that you had to squeak grunt your phrase. I'm done.
Yeah.
I need
All
you
right,
to go sit down, please.
Let's do it again. This bears repeating.
What? I'm telling you, I'm getting the fuck off, and there's a reason why I'm getting the fuck off, and everyone can either believe it or they cannot believe it. I don't give two fucks, but I am telling you right now, that motherfucker back there is not real. And you can sit on this plane and you can fucking die with them or not. I'm not going to.
I like the bye.
Yeah, bye.
See ya. I don't know,
says
Kat.
she doesn't give two, but what about one fuck?
Yeah. What do we think, chat? What do we think of the lizard plane lady?
Shay, did you just say that, or did you read what Cy wrote?
I read what Cy wrote. I said
was
Cy
gonna say,
just
you two
said.
are really in sync because he
We
just
really
said the
are,
exact
though.
same
It happens a lot, but I did read that. I can't.
That motherfucker is not real. It's not real. What do you think, Rogan?
I've done crazy in the past, and as a young person, I would do it again. At my age, hell no. Oh God, no. Crazy ain't worth it. No,
The constant fear of waking up stabbed, like it's
my
not.
God. Next
Yeah.
thing you know, she's thinking she's a female praying mantis, and there goes my head, and chewing on my ear and my forehead. You know what I'm saying? Who knows? I mean, that kind of crazy.
You wake up and she's like 2 inches from you. Like you wake up, her eyes are like literally there.
Hey, you just
They're
described
glaring.
That motherfucker's not real. And
You
you're
just
like,
described that morning. Remember, I told you that Mrs. Mouse had COVID, and I was just laying in bed, and she just got right in my grill, and she's like, "Look in my eyes," and I was like, "You just freaking gave me COVID, didn't you? Like you haven't been this close to me in years, and today's the day you picked."
wow.
Look into my
Look
eyes.
into my eyes.
No,
Like,
see,
Yeah, she sounded like Arnold. Get to the
I've been friends with women like her. Like I've been friends with that. I can promise you guys, it is not worth it. Just
those crazy women, they will drain you. I've been
literally,
adjacent to
they'll
some
like
of them,
hang
yeah.
you upside down and drain you of blood. Like they're fucking psycho. They're not worth it. Don't do it.
The price tag to your soul is too high.
Well,
we got a yes.
Dawn, want better for yourself, Dawn. I believe in you. You deserve better than that. I hope.
Yeah, when you're in your 20s, though, yeah, you're letting other
When you're in
things
your 20s, you're stupid.
overtake.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Young,
yeah.
You know
young,
that?
dumb. You know the
Please.
rest.
Why do you think women in their 20s act like that? They know that men in their 20s are dumb enough to still hit it.
Right.
And that y'all won't quit it as long as we still let you hit it. You'll stay there for a long ass time.
String them along.
We got DM James with another one.
The DM James, you are financing. He is a official sponsor of this show.
Yep.
Nice.
Yes.
No, seriously.
He is in the inner circle.
Yeah, he was there from the start. He shouted out my channel early on. Him and Pundit did that, and I will always be great. DM James, I love hanging out in his live streams. It's just like a friendly front porch.
That's what I like.
Watching a man just give his opinion on stuff. DM James, $5. Both of my ex-wives.
Both.
Oosh. both are natural redheads. So I know crazy. Uh-oh. Shay, what do you got to say? Are you a natural redhead though, Shay?
No.
I didn't think so, but I just
Nope, very much not.
But it looks great.
Thank you. Here's the funny thing is if I dye my hair my natural hair color, all I get is, "Are you feeling okay? You don't seem like you feel well." And I was like, "No, just dyed my hair blonde, thanks."
Get the Ginny D treatment that her fans are probably hitting her up with, because she went from like green hair for years, and then you can tell she's trying to I'm sick of this.
Distance herself from it.
Yeah, she's like, well, I'll make it like 3/4 black, and then the last part I'll fuck around with. And now she's...
Shay, have you ever done cosplay at Gen Con? Mm-hmm. Have you been to Gen Con?
Nope.
No?
Nope.
We went to Gen Con a couple times, and I went and watched, not a parade, but it was like a...
It's a parade.
It's a parade?
It's a parade.
Yeah, the lineup.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, literally, I'm pretty sure it's literally called the cosplay parade. I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
I think I just maybe didn't see the actual parade. I just saw like the police side lineup against that wall where people were coming over to take the pictures and stuff. So
yeah, over the years there, we saw some fairly decent
absolutely
costumes.
Gavin did. Dude.
Yeah, our friend Gavin.
We have a friend who approaches people with the Tourette syndrome, dude.
Nice.
About 13 times. Yeah. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've actually never been. I wasn't brave enough to go to cons in cosplay up until Tidewater, and I went to Tidewater Comic-Con and actually hung out with Bill and Cat Mouse dressed as Nira X from the Dark Seas. So I was dressed as a very tall pirate with like boobies on display and everything, and walking around, and I've realized that when you're as tall as I am and then you put heels on, I don't tend to get the inappropriate comments directed at me. They might be like around me. I'm 6'1" without shoes.
What?
6'1" without?
6'1" without shoes.
Flat-footed.
Without shoes. Yeah.
All right.
And then when I put my heels on for the Nira cosplay, I think I was 6'6".
Wow.
So I actually was taller.
2 inches on me.
You know Sergeant Slaughter.
With the heels. With the heels.
You know,
oh yeah,
you guys know Sergeant. Yeah. I was taller than Sergeant Slaughter in my cosplay.
Holy shit.
Yeah, we went and hung out. I was like, "Sarge, you follow me on Twitter?" And he was like, "What's the name?" And I went, "Shae." I was like, "Shae the Red." And he goes, "I know you." And I was like, "What?" I was like, "I don't think you do, but okay." And he goes, "I remember you because my principal's last name was Mr. Shae, and I was in trouble a lot, and I was in his office all the time. So I remember following you."
Yeah.
I was like,
the sergeant.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Sergeant Slaughter's awesome. We hung out. So the whole time I was in cosplay, he was joking with me and stuff like that. And then I came back the next day and I was just normal, and got a picture with him. And he did the Slaughter hug, but I was one of the only people he could push his cheek up against my cheek because we were the same height. And he was like, "Hey, Paul, take your time." On that picture, he was like, "Just take your time." I was like, oh, feel like I might be getting sexually harassed a little bit. It's kind of funny.
Sai enjoys hugging you because he's 5'7.5". He's got to throw the half in there. Hugging Shae is nice.
Well, Shae, if we were ever together, you would not be allowed to wear heels because I still have about 2.5 inches on you without heels. So
sweetie, I don't sacrifice cute shoes for fragile egos, so you're gonna have to get over it.
Yeah.
Bam.
All right.
People are getting a Jessica Rabbit vibe from you.
That is actually one of the cosplays on my list that I need to do is Jessica Rabbit.
Oh, okay. And we got DM. Today's show is brought to you by DM.
Brought to you by DM James, our friend. Thank you so much, James. $2.66 is a tall drink of water. I bet you've heard that before, huh?
Yes, I actually. Oh my gosh, do I have them here? I do. I have cards that I had made up that are literally because people ask me all the time. They're like, wow, you're really tall. And I'm like, yes, I am. And they're like, the next question, do you play basketball?
The other one that follows that, and if you say no to basketball, it will be volleyball.
Yeah.
Which actually I just came from my co-ed volleyball tournament right before this. That's why I'm drinking Gatorade.
I enjoy volleyball. Our Mine and Mrs. Mouse's, our oldest, is a volleyball player.
Yes.
She
Right.
plays libero, so you would know.
Ooh,
what that is.
liberos are good.
And she is reigning defensive player of the year.
That rocks.
I know.
Good
so
for
that was
her.
yeah. That's all right. That's enough. That's enough of that.
Dude, I love volleyball. It's one of my favorites.
You know what's weird is she's a swimmer, and the swimming coach was also the volleyball coach.
Yeah.
And he said, your body structure would be perfect for volleyball, because she was a backstroker.
Mm-hmm.
And she tried volleyball and absolutely fell in love with it. So, and I've enjoyed over the years watching the games and learning a lot of the rules as I was going. But now I'm extremely well versed in the rules and what's legal and what's a good hit and all that other stuff. So, but the first moment when she came down in those shorts, I was like, "What in the hell?"
That's what
But I went and did some research, and I found out that the athletes themselves, the girls like wearing the shorts that short because they don't bunch up when they're. Those girls are phenomenal athletes. Volleyball players are phenomenal athletes.
Well, they slide on the court easier because if you have baggy shorts and you try to dive, you're gonna pants yourself.
And
so
when you get up, you're readjusting and you're not ready for the next play. So I did.
Having
nice. I'm 100% okay with it.
Yeah. Well, and that's
but I also
the only
was
reason...
seeing her in her bathing suit for all those years. So to me, it wasn't like what, but I was like, whoa.
You're like, hold on, I need to know, is this because you're trying to get boys looking at you, or is there a reason behind it?
It's funny about that boys comment that you just made. So the football
That's why we had
team
an audience.
The football team was finishing practice, and they walked through the gym to get to their locker room as the girls' game was going on. And people said, "Oh, look, the football team's here to support the volleyball team." And I nudged them and said, "If you think that that's why they're here,
yes,
you're crazy."
No.
So football and volleyball in Utah, where I'm from, like football and volleyball season go at the same time.
Yes,
and so
same with us.
Anytime football games ended, if volleyball was still going, we had a lot of
people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They were like, "Woo, go girls!" And we're like, "You're just looking at our asses." And they were like, "Yep, sure are." I was like,
"Show enough."
But then we would get up and get good hits, and they were like, "Damn, that actually looked kind of cool." We were like, "Yeah, we can actually play."
Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with little selling a little sizzle with a steak, I guess. I don't know.
It's like when those fajitas come out at the restaurant from Chili's or wherever.
Yeah.
Yep.
You know what's really great is if you really want to watch just grade A jumping and stuff, go watch beach volleyball.
Yeah.
Those women are fucking insane. Jumping in sand is so hard, and
it's
I played.
2-on-2.
Yeah, I played it once, co-ed, and I was like, bro, I can't do this. Like, I am not. This is so different. It is so hard.
I used to run on sand about 10 years ago. We have a beach pretty close to us here.
Yeah.
And I used to, that is a really good workout. Like, you got to have kind of a light step to, go on top of the sand. But man, it works your core really, really good.
That's why Apollo took Rocky there.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Yeah.
Well, and I used to play water polo, and our version of that was running in the shallow end, and I was like, I never realized how much running in waist deep water back and forth and like actually trying to sprint, that is also very difficult to do.
Rogan's daughter is a water polo player.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
I hate water polo to be perfectly honest.
Yeah, very good.
I hated it. And the girls' water polo is vicious.
Oh my god. Oof.
We had to start doing nail checks because girls would come out of the pool with ribbons of blood running down their thighs because it's like, oh, you can't tell what's going on under the water. I'm like, why are you clawing people?
No,
it's just rude. I was the shallow end goalie because
well,
yeah, 6'1".
I was like, no.
When did you top out at 6'1"? High school, or a little bit after?
No, it was before. It was at least high school, if not junior high.
Yeah.
I was born 2 feet long, so I've like always been off the charts.
DM James, $5 super chat. Also a channel member. Salt of the earth. Thank you, brother. maybe if I send Double D enough super chats, he would buy Warhammer Fantasy RPG and review it. Actually, James, they had like a humble bundle, I think, years ago, and I think I actually got that. So I have a version, and I think it's like 2nd edition. I think that might be the good one. So if you want me to review it, my friend, I will do that. That is no problem at all. Yeah, I'll take a look at it. I'll take a fresh look. You know, you were talking about that card that you show people when they ask how tall you are. It reminds me of the story Wilt Chamberlain used to tell. Like, people would say, "Hey, how's the weather up there?" And he'd spit on him and say, "It's raining."
It's raining. Now that's assault.
I don't know So I didn't include the "how's the weather up there" comment, but this was literally like that. The whole point of this is when somebody's like, "Wow, you're tall," I don't say anything and hand them the card, and while they're reading it, I walk away.
Good for you.
Good. Drop the mic, walk away.
Yeah,
it's amazing. Well, because it hits most of the things. So it's yes, I am tall. Thanks for noticing. 6'1". Yes, really. Yes, I wear high-heeled shoes. No. My significant other is not taller than me, but it's never been a problem. No, I don't play basketball, but I do love volleyball. No, I can't jump very high. Yes, it can be hard to find clothes. I shop online. I am so happy we could have this conversation. Have a great day. So by the time they get to the end of it, I'm gone.
Yeah, they look up and you're gone. Yeah.
They're like, oh.
Oh, but Gavin would have tracked you down with a dude.
It's like the Chris Nolan Batman movies, you know, how they'd like turn and then, okay, so what you're saying is, and he's gone.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, where did he go?
Like the scene
how does he do
the
that?
scene in the vault.
Yeah.
College humor one where he's like, "Could you turn back around for a minute?" It's like trying to like escape. He's just like crouched down behind a little sign. He's like, "I'm gone now. You can't see me." You're like, okay, like, sure. I'm just gonna walk
I saw that. Yeah.
We need to talk slower. Ben is saying that all his super chat questions are getting answered in 5 seconds.
And mine too. I can't get one in. I'm waiting.
I'm sorry.
I'm gonna throw one in there somewhere.
Shake and
another
talk.
one from Tora.
Tora. That's what the Japs said when they bombed Pearl Harbor, didn't they? Tora. Yeah. I tell you, they were industrious. You know, that was not a bad plan that they had. As we delve into World War II.
They were dedicated. There was a dedication there.
It was like going for the Grand Slam. Like, you know what? If this works, we win like right now. And boom, all the aircraft carriers are gone. Sorry, Tora 58. Got sidetracked. Okay, got to correct something. 1st edition Warhammer Fantasy RPG is better for the same reason OSR is based on basic D&D and not 2nd edition. Okay, so I think I can kind of make the connection there. Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Behind Warhammer Fantasy.
I've always appreciated
too
it.
many of the same characters.
I like the miniatures, but I could never do it. I could never, in regards
Never play it. Yeah,
the miniatures game.
It's very well thought of.
You're trying to move like 50 miniatures at once. I was like, it just feels like a lot.
You gotta.
That's why I liked Malifaux.
Get trays
like, you have
and
5
put them on
characters.
these trays.
Oh, you're talking about like 40K. He's talking about the actual. There was the role playing game associated with it.
Oh yeah, even still though, because it's still all war game style, but on like a huge scale. And I'm like, I just want to fight with like the big bads.
Well, I can't say that, and if all I'll say is if you're wrong, the chat will let you know because they always do. Yeah, they let us know all the time. So you'll get your first jumping from our.
I'm not worried about it. I'm not enough of a 40K fantasy nerd to care.
So you are playing 5e, is that correct right now?
Yeah. Right now, we're moving to a homebrew because Wizards is kind of a pain in the ass.
Stupid.
Silly.
Yeah, well, that's good news. Good news. We played 5e for a little while. It was fun while it lasted, and then it wasn't fun. And then Wizards of the Coast kind of made our decision like, oh, okay, so you're telling us we're making the right decision as we're leaving. Okay,
Yeah.
fair enough.
Yeah, well, and I
so-
never got into it like early on. I didn't get into it until a couple years ago.
Do you DM at all? Have you tried your hand?
That is
Why
a
not?
lot of organization. And because I'm not comfortable enough with everything as far as like how everyone's powers work and trying to get everybody to have like a logical part of this overall kind of campaign and making it make sense. Like I would be the DM that would, I don't know if you guys know who R.A. Salvatore is, but
Oh, yeah.
I have such an
Drizzt.
issue with this guy as a writer.
Oh,
Like
Drizzt, yeah. I think a lot of people do. Yeah.
from an editor's
Yeah.
perspective, okay, you can't literally write your characters into a corner and then go, I just remembered I have this magical bracelet that will warp us out of here, and then they're out of it. And I like, bro, I would be that as a DM, and I don't want to do that because that's abysmal storytelling. That is a horrible RP experience, and I don't want to be that person. But I'd be like, oh yeah, you I guess you killed everything, and
Well, you can just react.
I don't have anything else.
You just listen and react.
What a couple of
that's what
questions for
everybody
you,
says.
Shay. How often do you play, and how many people are in your group?
We play once a week, hopefully. Lately, this year has been really, really tough on us. There's been a lot of tragedy surrounding our group, unfortunately. But we have our DM and then 3 characters right now, which is another problem, is there's not as many people. So it's harder to kind of get an understanding of what everybody can do. And I'm a lazy player. I play a barbarian who, in every sense of the word, is a barbarian. I'm like, I hit shit with a
Like
really
a tank.
big
With
axe.
a tank up front.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
And I literally like, I'm gonna hit it with my axe. And he's like, do you want to try anything else? I was like, nope. I just want to hit it with my axe. And so my DM kind of prodded me along, and he was like, so your axe has fire. And I was like, right. So I'm going to hit him with my axe and set him on fire. He's like, do you want to do other things? I'm like what? Is there something other than hitting it with an axe? So like, I'm like this stereotypical, like, I'm just gonna bash it until it works. And I've done that and actually moved our story along, because I was like, I'm gonna hit the wall and see what happens. And I hit it, and it's like, so you got an at 20, the wall falls down, and you have a much clearer path than you did before. And I was like, I like
well
this
done.
game. I'm good at this.
You just gained experience.
I was like, I'm hitting
James.
things for no reason.
$5. See, you might be a natural DM, because I think a lot of DMs, me included, when we do go on the other side of the screen, we yearn for simplicity.
Yeah.
So, I like to kind of just play something nice and simple, something swing, hit,
straightforward.
kill. Yep. DM James, $5. Good Lord, James. Don't deprive yourself of lunch money or something this week for Double D. You are being overly kind, my friend. Thank you so much. Warhammer Fantasy RPG plays best with a small group of PCs and is very lethal. Yeah, I've heard that. Everything I've heard about Warhammer Fantasy is pretty positive, and not annoyingly so. I've never had one of them say, just be one of those annoying people who are always talking about the game. But I always hear people say, hey, look, this is a really cool game. It's a good alternative to D&D. So obviously, James, you feel strongly about it. Like Call of Cthulhu, it's skill-based, where you play rat catchers and witch hunters. Well, I'm going to go with the latter instead of the former there.
You don't want to catch
although
rats?
I don't know.
I don't know. Bryn loves her a good rat that isn't going to bite her, but if it bites her, then she's going to rip its head off. So,
There you go.
That's your
James,
thanks so
much, buddy.
That's my character.
Okay.
She's a giantess redhead. Go figure.
Man, that's
I reached real far for
Yeah.
that character.
Whoa, yeah. Don't stretch too far.
I almost sprained something. Okay, it was difficult, but I think we made it. She's like 6'11" or something.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, yeah, see,
Damn.
it's not me. She's got
She's
some
tall.
inches on me.
Yeah.
And they were like, she's a giant. And I'm like, yeah, that's why she's.
My daughter's a barbarian. Yeah, her old character was a 5e barbarian when we were playing that.
Still,
so, yeah.
still active. She's in the background now. That character didn't pass.
Yeah, she retired.
Yeah.
She saw a ghost. She saw
Right.
a ghost, which is 1 die 4 times 10 years.
Mhm.
She got the 4.
Yep.
So I said, honey, and the thing is, she wasn't there, and I will not kill a character while they're the player's
no,
not
that's
here.
shitty.
But stuff can happen, and that was probably the worst thing to happen.
That would
'Cause she was-
probably
she
be, in
was-
all
she was just
fairness,
there.
probably the worst affliction someone has gotten that hasn't been at that episode.
Yeah,
that
yeah.
session for us.
Yeah. I said, honey, your character is 60 years old now. She's like, oh, okay. She's like, I guess she'll just retire. Such a sweetheart.
One of my favorite, I call her my little sis. I basically adopted her. I've decided that, I met her online and was like, oh my gosh, you're now my sister. It's happened. We're thinking that we might add her to the next one. And the thing that's hilarious with her is A, she does voices, and B, she does the best old lady voice. Like it's the best period. And she's like, I want to play an elderly woman who is from the cookie whatever game or what, because we're all from video games, like our characters are. And we had to be like, okay, but can you be like an old lady trapped in a young girl's body so you don't have a movement speed issue? Because it would be nice if you could keep up with us and I didn't have to carry you. And she was like, oh, I love it. So I look young, but I sound old. And I was like, there you go. Yeah, we'll do that. That sounds better. No, so I'm hoping that everything works out when we get her in there, because I'm like, I just so desperately love when she does like old lady Raven, and the fact that she's probably going to do voices, and I'm like, we don't do voices, because Bryn is just me, and I'm an asshole, so I just act like an asshole.
Well, voices they're hard to keep up. They are
really
very
good
hard
at
to
them.
keep up.
Double D is doing a voice now in his in our current game, and he started it, and now he's got to keep doing it.
I did,
and he's been sticking with it.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, yeah. My character is played by. He would be played by Sean a very younger Sean Connery. So I'm giving a little bit of that lilt to
He did
to
a
my
good job.
character.
I'm not going to lie. He did a good job.
Yes, absolutely.
I don't want it to be obnoxious, so I'm not like, oh, yes, blah, 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 but, just kind of everyday speak. I've watched Outland twice. That's why I got the hat. This is an Outland hat. Very good movie. Very good movie.
You weren't doing Will Ferrell doing Sean Connery.
No, I'm not Will Ferrell doing Sean Connery. I'm trying to be understated. TMJ's diversity and dragons, no worries. I married into money. One of the benefits of being me.
Hell yeah.
Lucky.
You won the lottery, James. Nicely done, buddy. Nicely done. Let's see. I think there's something else I wanted to. Let's see. We did the. This one. Well, first of all, I'm gonna put this back up. Take a look at it, guys. What's in here? What is this circular chamber? I think those are supposed to be pillars. Maybe they're little baby pits or something.
Number 2 looks like a chocolate chip cookie.
Yeah, very symmetrical.
Chips Ahoy! Now I'm hungry.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a secret door leads to here. I don't know. What could it be? You tell me. In the meantime, this also was on Twitter for the last couple of days.
Oh no.
Baldur's Gate 3.
No.
Oh boy. Yep. Let's just try to see where's the. Here it is. Yeah. So Baldur's Gate 3 is a 10 out of 10. This is the proper D&D experience. In Baldur's Gate 3, you can F a bear.
Huh?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. You can.
You're seeing you're seeing.
You look at this poor squirrel. He has seen too much.
Why? What? Why?
I wish I knew, son. I wish I knew.
That looks like in that movie The Revenant when Leo had that mix up.
I
with
was
the
thinking
bear.
that too. Yeah.
They
turned it romantic.
How's that line go? Interspecies erotica, fucko.
That's right. It's supposed to be a like a druid shape shifting, but
Yeah, Cal just actually put that up. He just said it's a druid shape change.
But it's not. It's a freaking bear.
It's still weird.
Hey, Ryan with a zinger. Where did it go? There you go.
Squirrel loved it.
Ryan, no, that poor squirrel was he is scarred. That's what it is.
Damn.
Hey, you. That's why Ryan gets paid the big money.
Ryan.
Boy.
Would the bear feel anything?
Yeah.
That's what from Ben.
Oh, sigh.
So
did you see Sai's comment?
Size queen. Oh God. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Terrible, babe. So bad.
Oof. We appreciate that here, though. Yeah, we're not. Look, we're not prudes, but should you be putting this kind of stuff in a video game? I don't know. Do you have to have it in there? I'm not sure what you accomplish.
Put whatever you want in whatever media you have, but then don't bitch because people talk out against it and decide they don't want to buy your game because of it. I mean, do whatever you want, but you don't get it. You can't have your cake and eat it too. Right. If you're gonna do it, then you have to
that's perfect.
Understand.
Yeah, I'm not saying they should be, they should be prevented from doing this, but they should think twice, maybe. Just
another funny one. Hot dog hallways don't fill themselves. It's like throwing a hot dog down a hallway.
That was a good one.
That was from. I remember that from. We're the Millers when they were. In the tent when they were trying to have a foursome or an orgy or something, and she's like, "There's nothing. It's like throwing a hot dog down a hallway."
Fucking terrible.
Well, Shae, you said I brought it up earlier. Yeah, you had the DM from hell who had your character enter the game nude.
Wow.
That happened to my wife and daughter at a Gen Con game. We were all playing. And this is the worst. I mean, I'm wondering if we had the same DM. Was this guy's name Pelham Shade?
No.
Okay.
The guy that did it to me had literally never DM'd before and was like, "This will be funny." And then when I fucking rolled like a 19 or something, he was like, "You have found a plethora of belts to make an outfit." And I was like, "What the fuck, dude?" Like, we were in a store. And apparently the only thing at a 19 that I could find were leather belts.
Kind of like the Fifth Element. Lilo in the Fifth Element.
Yeah. I guess that's what he was going for.
I think that's where he was going.
Yeah.
And I was thinking of kind of like the Final Fantasy character who has like her skirt that's partial belts, but she's still got like fur and shit. And I was like, in a place where there's a plethora of clothing, the only thing that my character can find is belts. I was like, I don't think I'm playing anymore. And I started ghosting the sessions until eventually I just stopped coming. And they were like, he was getting really aggressive. Like, if I ever did show up, he would be super aggressive on like anything that I said I did. And I was like, and I quit. Like, bro, you made this so not fun.
Sounds like the dude was working out his own personal problems.
Yeah. He has a lot of issues.
I think DMs, you should be able to ask them, if you are a woman, you should be able to ask the DM, look, have you been laid within the last 2 months? Because if you
When's
haven't,
the last time you got some? Because that's going to depend on whether I play or not.
Yeah, and honestly, I mean, you can laugh at it, but there's probably a little bit of truth to that, because someone who's happy, satisfied, they're not going to be thinking about that stuff. But somebody who's, 2 years, a 2-year dry spell, or a lifetime dry spell in some of these cases.
Well, and the weird thing is like I dye my hair red and I find out how many people have like a really weird ginger fetish, and I'm just like, I'm not your fetish.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just, this is weird. Like if we were face to face, you wouldn't say any of this because
You
would
wouldn't
look
be
at me
face
and
to
I would
face
give
with
you a
him. You'd be
death
towering over him.
Exactly. I'd have to
Yeah.
crouch down to get face to face with you, and then you'd be like, maybe I don't say anything. This is why I don't have these problems in person. I only have them when I'm like online.
All right, I want to look at something else here.
As long as it's no more
moment.
bear fucking.
No, it's not that.
Okay.
I got to do a little service for my chat here, because this was a tip that came in. Okay, so this is the Ronin RPG. It funded on Kickstarter. So a guy DM'd me on Twitter, and he said, "Hey, just thought I'd let you know that when a friend of mine backed this, they got an email that had this at the bottom: sexist, racist, homophobes, transphobes, put this down and fuck off." So it seems like a lot of the Wizards of the Coast, Modifius, all that kind of stuff, treatment, trying to virtue signal to their audience, assuming that a sexist, racist, homophobe, or transphobe is going to stumble onto the Ronin game. So I just wanted to let you guys know. Yeah, it's bizarre. I don't know,
It's an
because
interesting marketing ploy.
Well, yeah, and they kind of get you with, well, if you're not any one of those, you wouldn't have a problem with it. And it's like, well, yeah, I would, because I don't really consider myself much of any of those. I don't know. Maybe I'm probably on the spectrum for a couple of them, but I certainly don't consider myself that. I'm pretty much a live and let live kind of guy, and it's just like, what I don't know what we're trying to accomplish here, other than just, hey, give us some points here, ladies and gentlemen. So
When I see something like this, all that it tells me is that you are incapable of just like actually telling like a decent story or having a good game or anything like that. And so you are going to hide behind all of these labels to make anyone who says anything negative about your game instantly be classified as one of those, which is funny. And like, just like Sai said, here's the hilarious thing. Do you know how many times I've had people ask if they can come on our channel? We've reviewed their stuff and been like, hey, I'm really sorry. I don't really think that it's up to our standard, or it covers content that we're not really into, and it would be disingenuous for us to bring you on. And they've turned around and been like, what? Are you like a homophobe? And I'm like, tell me that you don't know anything about my channel without telling me you don't know anything about my channel. It's like, my fucking co-host is trans, dude. Seriously? Yeah. And they're just like, oh, clearly you just have a problem with LGBT. And I was like,
maybe not.
I mean, I feel like the T part of that is pretty heavily covered, but okay.
Yeah. Cyborg sounds like, well, he sounds like a trans person from about 7 years ago. the kind that like nobody ever had a problem with and was like, oh yeah, cool, yeah, you do you. We're good.
Well, and this is something that I genuinely believe. I think that what we have in today's society is so many people who are so desperate to take on a label and give themselves relevance that the second something happens to threaten that label, they no longer have an identity and they don't know what to do about it. As opposed to like, look, I was almost a professional girl gamer before I joined the military. I'm a female military member and I guess technically veteran, depending on who you're talking to, because people don't understand that active duty and veteran are separate. But
right.
I'm into indie comics. I do cosplay. I'm an artist. I'm a streamer. I'm a volleyball player. There's so much that anytime, like, I can't boil myself down to one thing. And anytime somebody tries, I get kind of offended. I'm like, I'm way too complicated for you to be like, well, you're a female vet, so excuse you. Whoa, I'm a plethora of things. So if I'm telling you that I disagree with you, you don't get to tell me that I'm wrong and I should be standing for whatever. I'm telling you what I think. I will tell you where I stand because I'm confident in me.
It has a lot of cachet, and you're absolutely right. It's just I wish we could break people of the habit, because you see it everywhere, where someone will get up and it'll be like, as a black Jewish woman, I just want to say that I find this, as a man, who has one leg, chopped off below the knee, who was raised a Mormon. It's like, stop these stupid flexes. Nobody cares. You and
like,
your family are
as
the
a
only
human
ones that care
being-
about you. Yeah.
And
Yeah,
I've had people that are like, well, how do you identify it? Because, I like, my co-host is trans. That's my partner. That's the person that I'm with. And they're like, well, so you're part of the LGBT. I'm like, am I? Like, they're like, how do you identify? I was like, I identify as Shae. I'm Shae.
Yeah.
And they're like, okay, but pronouns. And I was like, that bitch. I don't know. Shae, me, hi, call me whatever. I was like,
whatever you want.
I get sirred at least once a month. At least one. And I've had somebody look straight into my cleavage and be like, have a good day, sir. And I was like,
well, they're just fucking with you.
like,
I mean,
no, they
obviously.
weren't. They were on autopilot, so they didn't register. They registered that they were seeing a chest at what they deemed eye level, and that meant male. And then they were like, immediately after, I was like, yeah, you too. And they went, oh, I am so sorry. I was like, bro, it's fine. You got a shitty job. I understand. You're on autopilot. It's okay. And they're like, I didn't mean to misgender you. I was like, ooh, can we not call it that? It's just a slip of the tongue. I've had
weird.
I've had people call me a boy since I was like 5 as an insult. It's not gonna break me. Like, I just don't care.
It's really, really weird.
It's a strange epidemic, just this desire and in every corner to find and be outraged about something. It's there's an entitlement or so, I don't know. But it's an epidemic. I am now outraged at this. Who 5 years ago would not normally have been outraged at anything.
Yeah.
Our society is moved into this instant outrage for little to no reason whatsoever, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Well, and I think it's because when you get to claim victimhood, then you get to have any and all of your fears or your insecurities validated as legitimate. And it's like, nobody's telling you that your fears are illegitimate. What they're saying is, it's not everyone else's problem that you have those insecurities. And rather than looking outward for validation, you're never going to get validation if all you ever do is seek it from outside sources. You have to learn to be okay with who you are, and you have to be confident in what you do. And then when people I've had people that have tried to blackmail me, which was fucking hilarious. Like,
seriously.
Yeah. Oh, I've had people that have tried to blackmail me. I've people that have harassed me. I have people that have stalked me. I've had all this kind of stuff. And what it always comes down to has been like, you can't blackmail me if I don't care. So if you're like, well, if you don't do this, then I'm going to say you did that. And I'm like, go for it. I was like, okay, go and tell the world that I did that. Let's go see what happens. And what ended up happening is everyone was like, well, I don't want to anymore. I'm like, oh, okay. Fucking asshole.
Funny how that works. Yeah. DM James. $5 or $2 super chat. Sorry, buddy.
$2.
Yeah, $2.
I want my $2. Remember
$2,
that?
make a holla!
Yeah.
Better off dead.
Better off dead, yeah. What if you're only 3 of the 4? Oh, you mean sexist, racist, transphobe? Yeah.
Well, then you're fine. It's if you're all of them, then
well, as I
put
said,
this down and fuck off.
Yeah, Adam Carolla said this. He's like, now he was just talking with him and Dr. Drew, and he's like, now listen, am I a racist? No, but I'm on the spectrum. So I'm sitting there thinking, like, that's really a good way to put it, because we're pretty much all on the spectrum for all of that stuff. We all have our buttons that we
there's
get
nowhere
pushed.
that you can be. Like if you say you don't see color, then that's racist, because then you're saying everyone is exactly the same, and how dare you not take into account the differences and the struggles that other people have gone through. But then if you say I do see color, well, now they're clearly a racist because you're seeing color. You're not supposed to. It's like, okay, where's the off button? Like, what's the answer that is just, we're done with this? I would love that answer. And so my answer is, fuck you. Like, that's just where I am.
It's always the best answer.
I just hate all of you equally.
I'm waiting for the day. And I think it's coming. I think there's a lot of things coming. But I'm waiting for the day, because they're already saying, like, how can a white guy write, a black woman character? It can't be done.
Sure, it can.
Oh, of course it can.
Absolutely,
and always has been. But I'm waiting for the day when they say, like, listen, you're a man, you can't write a female character. Or, I guess it would never be vice versa.
They've already been saying that men should not be allowed to write female characters, and I wholeheartedly disagree, because the beauty of somebody being able to express, that's another form of artistry, right? And so it's really interesting to see when a man writes a female character, what aspects they think make that character feminine, or what aspects make that character more relatable to women. And then when a woman writes a female character, what aspects they focus on, because a lot of female authors that are writing women are writing very angry, vapid women. And I can't get behind those characters, because I'm like, this doesn't feel like a character that I want to read. But then one of my absolute favorite authors is actually a buddy I served with, and he writes about this girl named Aggie, and I fell in love with her, and then found out he was like, well, you're a little bit in there because she's a really tall girl. And he's like, I sampled you and like 2 other females that I know that are very tall, and I kind of took some of your guys's personality quirks and some of your insecurities, and I built into this character, and then I threw a little bit of my own trauma in there. And I'm like, Aggie is my favorite character, and she's a fucking drug addict, and but her drug is, because it's a fantasy, so she's like addicted to like demon blood, and it's different. Nice. And she's really strong, and she's really tall, but she's also really impulsive and irrational at times. And I'm like, this is a good female character. Like, yes, this is how I feel. And then he's like, yeah, it's because I was writing about all of the trauma that I've seen you guys go through. And I was like, well, you don't gotta call me out like that. Like, okay, well, I feel a little bit on notice now, but whatever, it's fine.
Jeff brought up a point a couple posts ago about female characters, and he mentioned She-Hulk, which reminded me of, it might have been a meme that I saw before, about like when a woman wrote an attorney, it was She-Hulk, and when a male wrote an attorney, it was Kim Wexler.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Kim Wexler from Better Call Saul, if the people don't know.
Yeah, one's twerking, and just acting like a complete thought, and the other one is, a 3D character, that everybody seems to like.
I will never forget the first She-Hulk comic that I ever picked up, and I was so excited. And we're talking, this was in my 20s. Like, I didn't get into comics when I was a kid. I'm from Utah. Like, girls didn't read comics.
Were you raised Mormon?
When I was growing up. Huh?
Were you raised Mormon?
Kind of. My parents aren't. They're born again Christian, but my aunt did tell me when I was 8, if I didn't get baptized, that Jesus wouldn't love me anymore. So I was baptized, but I asked too many questions for them, so they
cover your bases, though, right? It's only a dip in the pool.
if you're ever concerned that you'll go missing, I'm telling you, convert to Mormonism for a year, because they're still finding me.
Oh, really?
Like, I'll be out mowing my lawn. I got booty shorts. My tats are all showing. I'm in like a tank top, and I hear, "Oh, hello, sister." And I'm like, "What? No, walk away. Like, this is wrong house. Don't come here, please. Stop." But yeah, I don't know. It's a whole other. It's for a totally different show.
Oh yeah. I was gonna say you could probably fill a whole show up on that. I've heard they're exceedingly polite to at least to strangers. I think
they're polite, but they're passive aggressive. You have to know how to like passive aggressive is the language of Utah. If you don't speak it, you just think everyone's super sweet. If you speak it, you're like, oh, that was a bitch.
like Scandinavians. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
where they are too.
We got a mouse
Yep.
drop in here.
Ooh, Jeff Hatch. Nice to see you again, Jeff. Channel member too. $5 super chat. Thank you so much, Jeff. We got to see talk to us a little last week. You want good female characters? Try any of the Yellowstone properties. Yeah, I keep hearing about that. I keep wanting to watch that.
I
The
like
Kevin
shows.
Costner one.
I like to watch shows when they're done, so I'm in control of.
Yeah.
And I heard Yellowstone still has one part of the last season to go, so maybe when that drops is when I'll start
Right.
watching Yellowstone.
I watched.
Oh,
a
that's
couple
what I was
episodes.
saying when we
you
were
like
talking
it?
about
Absolutely,
She-Hulk.
absolutely, and like you said, the female characters in there are strong. I believe they're well written. They're they're very. I don't know. I don't believe it very cliche. It's very strong, good actors.
I didn't
actresses
know
and
that one of the
actors.
actors was he was in the movie The Breakup. He was one of the brothers.
Tone Ranger?
No, that was
Oh,
her
one of
brother.
his-
one of
one of
his
his brothers.
brothers. Yeah, the pervert.
the other one.
pervert.
Yeah. Okay.
So, and he was also in Good Will Hunting. He was a pretty prominent character in Good Will Hunting, but I did not know that he was the same guy because he has a full beard in Yellowstone. So I think his real name might be Cole Hauser or something like that.
Yes. Yeah. Well, you get female characters. James, you're making me blush. I'll get this in 1 second. I want to complete this thought before I forget it, though. Look, you're kind of seeing right now how to do it and how not to do it. In D5, Dial of Destiny has a quote unquote strong woman who's been pretty much described as just kind of annoying, and apparently they toned her down in editing. But obviously it's that Phoebe Waller-Bridge, definitely not a sex symbol, and I'm not like downing her looks or anything. She's fine, whatever. But everybody knows why she's there. She's very feminist oriented, and she's there to kind of. Their goal is to have Indy turn over the fedora to her, and if it had been well received, they'd have been like, "Cool, let's go." Now, I don't think that's going to happen.
Well,
now.
think about female characters. Ruth Langmore from Ozark. That actress wins award after award every year, but that was a phenomenal female character.
Oh, very.
Well, look in the theaters right now. You got Mission Impossible. I don't know her name, but man, is she was really good looking. The Tom Cruise's female lead for Mission Impossible. I'm sure Chad'll be right on that. And it's like, what is wrong with putting? I'm sure she's strong enough in the movie, but you know what? She ain't afraid to show a little cleavage, a little sex appeal, little sizzle, as we say. And, that's how you bring people on the fence into the theater to see your movie. So it makes me, it's not the only reason, but it makes me kind of like our experience with like Top Gun. Like, oh man, this is actually pretty good. I actually might want to go see this Mission Impossible movie. The only bad thing is 2 hours, 43 minutes.
I have to say, I've never seen any of the Mission Impossible movies, so I feel like I would have to watch them to keep up. I
don't think you do.
They're all standalone, kind of.
Yeah.
Enough.
They don't
really.
They don't really play into each other much.
Oh, okay.
And I'm not a huge fan
It's
either.
really
I've
just
not seen them all.
Tons
just
of
a few.
action.
Yeah, it's just him doing stunts, man.
Yeah.
You're just looking at how did Tom Cruise endanger his life this time? Because he's doing all these stunts.
Assuming
All
he
right,
did his own.
he does. Yeah, he does all the signature stunts because they make a big deal out of it. And I think this one is the one where he's on a motorcycle. Maybe
I saw it jump off. It's not a spoiler. It's in the trailer.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
jumps
Oh,
off
yeah.
a cliff. And
He base
parachute.
jumps
heard
with
it was
the
really great.
motorcycle.
Yeah.
Yes, that's it. Yeah, base jump. All right, before let's DM James. Good Lord, he is he's the money man.
Well, no. His
wife.
wife.
His wife is the money man. Yeah.
His wife she wears the money pants. Let's be real.
Yeah. Thank your wife for us,
Yeah.
James.
She made the pudding. He's just
Thanks, Mrs. DM James.
Question for the panel and anyone else. Ever read any I Lispor poison elves? 2, I try to convert them to orthodoxy when they come to my house. Well, I know that from your other. I'm not sure about that. Ever read any I Lispor? Can you expand on that a little, James? Because I don't even think I've heard of that. I'm kind of a dummy.
That I haven't
though.
heard of. Poison
Poison elves.
One of the guys. So Death Metal Hero, Luke. He's like my big brother. See, I just adopt people. Like when I really like people on the internet, you become family, and I have a lot of brothers and sisters now.
Nice.
He loves poison elves and has not shut up about it, to the point that I'm fairly certain that he has sent me poison elves and is like,
Is Poison
"You
Elves a
must
book?
read
Shay?
this."
What is Poison Elves?
So Poison Elves is it's like a graphic novel.
Oh, okay.
And it's, from what I have been told many, many, many times, it is apparently phenomenal.
It's very graphic.
Oh, it's I Lucifer. Okay.
I Lucifer.
That's right.
Okay.
I Lucifer. Okay. I think I have heard of that actually. I've not read it, of course, obviously. Yeah, and about converting people to orthodoxy. I think it's like a I don't know. If you want to give them the short sell and just say, hey, blah blah blah, and they say politely, I'll think it over, or no thanks, but I appreciate it. Then you've done your job.
In my
They're doing theirs.
experience with Mormons, though, you cannot out convert them if they are on a mission. Like when they are missionaries, it's best to just not tango. And they'll always ask if they can do something to help you around the house. That's how they get a foot in the door. So if they're like, "Oh, do you need help taking out your garbage or getting your groceries and stuff?" Like, the answer's no. Unless you want them to be like, "While we're here, can I tell you about the Pearl of Great Price in the Book of Mormon?" And you're like, "Oh, rats. It happened."
Yeah, those Mormons, they're very freewheeling with that housework thing, because isn't that how Elizabeth Smart got kidnapped?
Yep, by the guy that was fixing their roof.
Yeah, it's like, I'll take in this homeless guy who's gonna do some weeding and fix
Double
the roof.
D, I have a question for you. Is the actress you were thinking of Haley Atwell?
I think so. Yeah. Dark hair?
She was in Captain America.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Agent
yes.
Carter.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
All right.
Agent Carter.
Someone
yeah,
threw that out there. I want to give proper credit. It was Cowper Coles. What up, We never did a roll call today, and we're not going to do one now because there's way too many. But there's one point. I'm looking at it. There's 1.3 million people watching this stream right now. We want to thank all of you for that. That's really impressive. That's Panther math there, Shay.
I like it.
Yeah.
He always lies.
I told my wife she I've never given her any information on this show except for how many millions of people are tuning in. So
she's like, "What?"
Well, hey,
like,
if y'all could, if all you millions could go sub to Red Valkyrie, please, and buy Gaslight while you're here, just
exactly.
I'll throw in a random celebrity too, Joe Rogan was on. Listening today.
Oh, he was great.
And Neil deGrasse Tyson is my other one that I've thrown out there a couple times as well.
Good dude.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Very smart.
Sorry,
Yeah, you guys can take a look in the chat. You can go to Shay's website. You can check out the store Gaslight if you like those cool T-shirts that we were showing.
Yeah,
good stuff.
The eye and lip pieces are going to be put up on merch soon. I have to isolate isolating splatter is a lot harder than it looks. It takes a lot more editing. But yeah.
Do you have any desire to do any RPG industry work of any kind, whether it be art or writing or anything like that?
I don't know if any of my art would ever gel with the RPG community standard, because they have a very specific thing they're looking for, and I do not do that thing well.
It's interesting you say that. If I could interject 1 second, because my daughter, she I've taken a look at some of your other drawings, and it's not complete like Cal art style, but it's very colorful. You know, so I kind of know what you mean, in that you'd have a hard time winning over traditionalists with that.
Oh,
and I'll tell that to my daughter too, and because when Wizards of the Coast comes out and puts that in one of their books, and I'll be like, I don't know, honey, what do you think? And she is like, you know, it doesn't read like fantasy to me.
It's the wrong vibe. Like,
Yes.
the color choices and the composition that I like to do is not a fantasy vibe at all. I love fantasy. It's fun. I think that there's a lot that you can do with it writing wise. I do think that fantasy is one of the more complicated ones to write because there is so much pre-existing lore, and the second you mention something that is well known, even as simple as like, and then a dragon appears, everyone's like, what kind of dragon? Where did it come from? What sort of powers does it have? And you're like, well, fuck, I don't know. It's a damn dragon. It's got big wings and fire breath. And they go, oh, so it's one of these dragons. Is it this one or is it that one? Did it come from here or come from that? And you're like, I don't know. There's so much research that I have to do in order for me to write fantasy. So I feel like I would not do well writing fantasy. I like horror. So when I write stuff, I write a lot more of the horror genre. I like suspense. And the things that make people feel and think. And I basically like to take whatever my nightmare fuel is, the stuff that keeps me up at night, or that wakes me up in the middle of the night trying not to scream, or all of my weird fears that don't make any sense. Like I have a massive fear of the dark, which is hilarious to be in my mid 30s. And I'm like, oh, I turned the lights off. I have to run into the bedroom, like jump under the covers. The blanket will save me. Like it's ridiculous. It's like I'm 5, but I started describing to people what my brain concocts in the darkness, and I've actually fucked up other people. And so I was like, this is what I want to write. I want to write this stuff because it's like, y'all think it's funny until somebody's like, but what if this happened? And they were like, dude, that is fucked up. And I was like,
feel
yeah,
like you're
that's what goes through my
describing
mind.
Call of Cthulhu.
Call of
Call of
Cthulhu. Yeah.
Cthulhu.
Do you play Call of Cthulhu? Do you play that, Shay, or
I don't.
Are there any other horror games you play? Do you?
So I did play. I had a fun gaming stream with my little sis. We played Phasmophobia, and that
A
that
real
was
little
trippy.
sister or an adopted little sister?
My adopted.
Okay.
I'm the youngest in my actual family by a lot, by like 19 years, 17 years, and I think 12 years older are my siblings. They're all half siblings.
Wow.
Yeah, so I was basically raised like an only child, but I had all of the benefits of having siblings and being the youngest. So I got the best of both worlds.
Nice.
But no, we played Phasmophobia on her stream, and that was fun. I had a ghost up here and then walk through me, and I screamed bloody murder as I ran out of the house. And then I tried playing, I tried playing Mortuary Assistant. I wore a heart rate monitor. That game literally brought me to tears, and I was like, I think I need to stop now, because I was like, I can't handle this. Like, I have an issue with the dark. I have an issue with demons and like possession, and like that's Mortuary Assistant. You're literally carving up dead people to prep them for funeral and trying to figure out which one of them is possessed with a murderous demon that wants to kill you. I was like, this is probably
if you're ever in like a person-to-person game, there's a game you should check out. Just has one little booklet. It's called Dread, and it doesn't use dice. It uses a Jenga tower. I don't know if you've ever heard of it.
I have not, but that sounds amazing.
Every time your character has to do something, there's a Jenga tower there, and it's like, okay, go ahead. You know, and of course, early in the game, you know, the stuff that the characters are doing it's easy, you know, but you're building this increasingly more rickety tower, and then by the end, if somebody knocks the tower down, their character is dead. Yeah, it's
nice.
It's pretty intense.
I was playing the Arkham horror RPG games that are like the board games and stuff. I played those a few times, and those are fun. It's not as much scary as it is creepy, but it's because like there's so much reading to know what the hell's happening. So it takes so long in between, like, okay, we're in here, and then this, hold on, what are the rules about that? Let's bring the booklet back out, because I already forgot how this works. And you're like trying to flip through to figure it out. So And the games are really, really long, so it takes a while for anything to really happen. But video games will fuck me up bad because it happens. It can happen so quick, and I'm like, I wasn't ready. And they're just like, yeah, the game doesn't care.
Well, over the long haul, video games I think are better to instill horror.
Yeah,
RPGs are good. Like horror RPGs are good for 1 or 2 shots. I think they don't hold up well. Because you just can't really maintain it very much, over time. People are going to joke. People are going to, make
pacing and stuff. So like, pacing in a physical board game, you're the one that controls it. And if you're like, well, I forgot what this one rule is, like the whole game's on pause, and whatever like creepy vibe you were writing just got put on hold, and they don't hold up like that. Because then you're like, well, this is silly to still be creeped out by that.
I think it's why Call of Cthulhu has done pretty well, because at its core, it's a very simple game. Skills are percentage based, so it's just roll under your percentage, you succeed. Combat, pretty simple as well. So the simpler you're right on there. The simpler, the better when it comes to horror.
If you're writing a horror story, stop making your shit complicated.
Yeah.
The things that are scary are the simple things.
Simplicity is the essence of good design.
Yeah.
Yep.
It really is.
Sure.
Stop. You don't gotta fucking never show me the scary. Like, just leave it a mystery, because whatever I've come up with in my head is 10 times scarier than anything you were going to be able to produce. I guarantee it.
Right.
Like, just give it a creepy sound and have like weird shit happen around it, and I will concoct some Lovecraftian hellbeast that is the scariest thing in the world. And then I'll talk with other people who have their weird hellbeasts, and those will merge into one gigantic, and it will never be, you will never make something scarier than what exists in everybody's psyche.
Right.
I was thinking, when you guys were talking about scary and leaving it to the imagination and everything, I was picturing Joaquin Phoenix in the closet with the colander on his head during Signs. And then when that alien like walked across the screen, and the sheer terror in his like body and face and stuff, that was just like, that was just, I don't know. That's where my mind went when you guys were talking about creating like something super scary.
Yeah.
Vamonos, children.
Vamonos.
Dungeon Master James, all around good egg again. Jeez. What do I do here, Crazy Mouse?
Take him to dinner.
I think I'm going to have to. I'm going to have to. I owe you a dinner, James. $5. He has a game you might like here. I am prescribed meds that prevent me from dreaming. Ooh, wow.
That's sad.
I kind of know what he means a little bit, because I don't dream. I don't.
Fucked up. So.
Well, if I take like the Benadryl, like I take 1 melatonin and 1 Benadryl together to sleep, and those give me decent dreams. But if I didn't take that, I'm a very fitful sleeper. So I don't have. I have very shallow dreams.
Without getting into it, because I won't. A couple days ago, you texted me about one of your dreams that didn't go so great. Was that a night that you took your 2 medicines?
Oh yeah, I've been taking it for the last. Yeah, I've been sleeping well. But yeah, it does have that. Yeah, I had a very vivid. It was not a good dream. It was about.
We'll leave that alone.
Well, just harm coming to someone, that I know, and I'm like, man.
I love my dreams. I love them. I'll text Double D in the morning if I had a really good one, or I don't know. I love them.
James says you might like Cult. I have definitely heard of that game. I think that's from the 90s. I think. KULT. Yeah, look it up. Yeah, I'm not so much into the Lovecraftian horror anymore. It's nothing quite against it, but it's just,
it's been done a lot, and it's been done poorly a lot.
Well, yeah, and personally, just we've been with the game since, God, I played my first game in like 1982. At Gavin Morgan's kitchen table. And it's not that I hate it. It's just like, I just find more, there's just more horror in like everyday things, or I'll just go classic, like just straight up gothic horror. I run a yearly, around Halloween every year. It's a one shot. I'm like, guys, get here early. We're going to see this all the way through one session. I've done, a couple different versions of horror. but I tend to stay away from the Lovecraftian horror. I kind of, and who knows, maybe I'll go back to it.
I mean,
but
Lovecraftian gets just weird at a certain point. Like if you ever really sit down and read Lovecraft, it's so impossible to put your mind around. They're like the corner that was acute but obtuse, and I'm like, those are direct opposites. How I can't even fathom what that is.
Oh,
and they were just like, oh, and it was undulating, and I'm like, so is it just constantly is meh, 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 meh? I'm like, that's weird. But I feel like I'd be like, I probably ate something bad.
I'm always slightly ashamed because, people always say like, you gotta love Lovecraft. And it's like, well, I love Robert E. Howard. He's probably my favorite author, who was writing the exact same time. Whenever I read Lovecraft, I'm always like, I'll read a story and I'll be like, man, that sounds like somebody's description of how they would do like a story. And I'm like, man, that would be a good story. Somebody should write it. And it's like after I'm done reading it, because he never quite, in my opinion, brings you into the story. He still has that kind of long-winded Victorian, method to him. And I mean, I know all the academics are going to be, like, how dare you? And it's like, I'm sorry, but it's boring. The concepts are great.
Yes.
It reminds me of people who are like, oh my gosh, I love Pride and Prejudice. And I'm like, really?
Yep.
And they're like,
yeah,
A Tale of Two Cities. I was like, you're full of shit. Like, A Tale of Two Cities. It was the best of times. It was the worst of times. Like,
I like A Tale of Two Cities. I kind of like because I associate it with like high school at a certain point in my life. But I can absolutely understand what you mean. Like, it's hard to get through.
Read the first 5 pages of it, and it literally is just, it is this, it is not that, it is this, and it is not that. And I was like, are we gonna do this? For how long does this go on for? And I was like flipping. I was like, it's still doing it. Like, we're pages into this book, and we're still talking about what it is.
You got to get those cliff notes.
Yeah,
or go beat up a nerd and take their book reports.
Well, the book is like this fucking thick, and I was like, oh, now I know why it's so thick, because you didn't have a good editor that was like, bro, like, we got it about 3 in. You didn't have to go for 10 pages. You could have stopped. Yeah. Like, you're not giving things anymore. This is just superfluous bullshit.
When I was in high school, you're talking about editors and shit going on and on. I remember I was doing a poem, and my teacher told me that it was kind of repetitive, like parts of it. And I said, yeah, well, so was the beginning of I Have a Dream, but no one told Marty to shut up.
I remember my English teacher told me he asked what a poem meant to us, and I gave this like really like thought out explanation as to what I thought it meant, and he goes, wrong. And I was like, it's an opinion, asshole. I can say this is about the dish running away with the damn spoon. You can't tell me it's wrong. And he's like, well, you're wrong. And I was like, then you asked the wrong question. He did not like it.
Yeah, I always hate that sort of intellectual like masturbation, about these long-winded interpretations of this and that. It's like, geez, when I hear that,
Shae, I just sent you a message too.
It was a time of great discontent, you hail. I like the character, was it Charles Darnay, I think, in Tale of Two Cities? Who's the one? Sidney Carton, I think, is the one who kills himself, who goes up and says it's a far, far better thing. I don't know.
I'm not sure.
I like that character. But yeah, you have to go through a lot of stuff to like, it's like working really hard for a piece of like, food. You got to crack open a hard nut.
You get a Skittle. Here you go.
Exactly. It's like, the Skittle's good, but it's like, man, my thumbs are all busted up.
Not worth that.
Shae, you just got another love note.
I know. Sai's so sweet.
She wrote a poem for English, and the teacher responded, at least it wasn't a baby on a carpet.
It wasn't carpet, Sai, okay? At least it wasn't baby on a fur rug. Get it right, damn it.
We'll have to have you back with Sai.
With
I
Sai,
think,
Yeah, it would have been great. I feel so bad because Sai's internet is so potato that we can't even talk. Like, we tried talking on the phone, and the reception is terrible. We tried talking in a video chat, and it's so potato that neither one of us can hear anything. So we've just been like, we'll just text, I guess.
That's like the beginning of every Double D stream lately.
Yes, it certainly
Yeah,
is.
like, Jesus.
You know, it was such a good thing today. We all got here a little early, and we just came downstairs, and it was a good thing that we did, because if this would have happened even closer to 7 o'clock, we were having these problems at about 6:45 Eastern time, and and it took us that long, and Shay chiming in to fix it for us.
Shay helped a lot with the audio.
Heck yeah, man.
And then I sent the wrong links out for last week's show. I don't even know how that happens, because last week's show in StreamYard is not even there. So it's like, here I am, just copying the link. Literally, like, if anybody who's done StreamYards, there's the invite button. I'm literally copying that, putting in an email for these guys, to open up on the computers they have here. And then I did the same thing, for Shay, when I sent her the link. And somehow it was a link to last week's show. So I have no idea how that happened.
It just seemed different. Like the chat was different and stuff. And I'm self-admittedly not the world's greatest with tech. So
yeah, I'm mad that this Shure microphone, which I've already gotten not a refurbished one. They sent me a brand new one because the jack busted in the back of it. But it's like, I can't get this thing right. It's like I'm messing around with the gain. I'm doing everything. I'm on a cheap Amazon mic here, and apparently it's better than this fucking $200 microphone.
We all had to switch back to our old mics. Yeah.
Weird.
Frustrating.
See, I just go Blue Yeti, and then I haven't had issues.
Yeah, if it wasn't, if I didn't need because we're so close, Blue Yeti, I did have one, and actually our first streams, you can see us struggling with that because it's a condenser mic. It'll pick up everything. So I have to have like a dynamic. They have to be dynamic mics. But actually, the Blue Yeti, I'm starting to reappreciate it back then. It's very dependable.
You can do the scope with a lot of it too, so you can narrow it down to be a lot more instead of being omnidirectional. But it's still hard.
Yeah. But it doesn't matter. It picks up because I've tried that. Yeah. God Lord, I asked these guys. I made like a little foam wall, like a little half wall. I'm like, maybe this will help. It's like, no, if there's any room, if there's any noise, yeah. Here's the map of mystery. If anybody wants to,
Jeff Garrison chimed in.
Yeah.
He wants to know if it's the Frogger map.
Ooh, Temple the Frogger. No, I actually did this on Dungeon Scroll. I literally was like, let me take a look here. Yeah, the Frogger map. Yeah, I just wanted something simple. I was trying to think myself. Like, is this underground maybe? Yeah, it's got to be underground, right?
Mm-hmm.
That secret door. I'm trying to figure out. That's where I'm fixated on. There's a secret door in this grand fucking chamber. Maybe like behind a tapestry or something. A little narrow.
Clearly, it's after you pull down a sconce on the wall, then it opens up.
Yeah. I'm willing to say that. Maybe this has got to be maybe that's like an escape route for like, some royalty or something. Maybe this is like a receiving
quarters.
chamber. Yes,
in and out without being seen.
That's quite a hallway there.
Yeah, the servants. Yeah, you guys kneel down, go on the 4 foot by 4 foot. Yeah, maybe it's a maybe two. Maybe it's like a reception chamber, like they have dances there. I don't know.
Oh yeah.
Trying to picture it in my mind.
And number 2 is maybe the hall, and the two things that look like the upright, from a football field goal, is like a balcony that overlooks it.
Oh yeah. I hadn't even
It's
considered
eyes
that.
wide shut. That's what it is.
I saw.
I like the way you think. Well, unless somebody has something different, that'll be the last time. If anybody wants to come on, you're more than welcome. Just splatter it in the chat that you want to come on and give us your interpretation. Because
it won't be Jeff Hatch. He checked out a while ago. He said good night. He's taking his son to Back to the Future #2.
Awesome.
So
cool.
Jeff's one of our channel members and a
Member of the Inner
contributor.
Circle.
Yeah.
There's
He was
Cal.
on last week, and he was trying to have a website up for maybe some of his books or something. I'm not sure what he was trying to pitch, but he said he's working on the website and he'll have it fixed for us pretty soon.
Speaking of Inner Circle, Cal Valoni, our moderator. Thank you so much, Cal, as always. And oh boy, he's back.
In Double D, he sent us a message as well for that dinner. You have to go to Orlando to take care of that. Sounds like a road trip.
Yeah, I was gonna say if I'm down there, James, you know I'm coming. Yeah, absolutely.
We'll go on location for something like that.
I've never been to Orlando.
Mouse in the house.
Oh hey, if you guys end up going, you'll have to swing by Tampa, and then I mean, I'm in fucking Maryland, but I'll drive down to. There's a bunch of conventions and stuff that happen in Tampa, and a bunch of
So this
indie
actually
crews
sounds
down
like
there.
Double D. This is actually going to work.
I'm just saying.
Here's what I need you to do: pretend you're working tomorrow and start booking this trip.
Yeah, Tampa's nice. My folks used to have they were snowbirds, so they had a condo in Sarasota, which is right outside Tampa. Beautiful area. Orlando's nice. My sister lives up in Gainesville, which is up in the north, kind of by Jacksonville. So yeah, I've got the perfect excuse to get down there.
If you ain't a gator, you gator bait.
Hell yeah. DM James, $5 channel member. Perhaps in room 4, there's a succubus hiding behind an illusion of a baby on a fur rug.
I think you're right.
That's it. That's what it is.
You think so?
Yep. That's
All right,
it.
that's where we're going. Okay.
It's gotta be it. You crawl on your hands and knees through that door, all the way down that skinny ass hallway, and all you see is baby on a fur rug that's super deformed, and then before you can run away in fear, it turns into a succubus and you're dead.
You got another
That's what
love
you get for
note.
being curious.
Shay refused to go over the Skyway Bridge.
Yeah, I told
Chicago
you I had a
one?
lot of ridiculous fears. One of my
Chicago?
fears is of heights. No, in Florida.
Oh, is that the big one in Tampa?
Yeah. That's over a
Yeah,
whole lot of water. I don't like dark water,
Yeah.
and I don't like heights, and I don't like being high over dark water. That sounds horrible.
Well, we were just in Charleston, and they got plenty of bridges, in Charleston. Yeah, and they have that new one. It's beautiful, but I'm telling you, when I'm on it, I get into a middle lane.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like
The funny-
I don't want to be anywhere near the edge.
The funny
Yeah,
thing
we're going
is
to OBX, and there's a bridge going down there too, a high one. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'm right near Key Bridge, which is like I'm on the Chesapeake, so I go over 2 smaller bridges, and then every now and then if somebody's like, "Oh, I'm in Baltimore," and I have to like go to them, I'll have to go over Key Bridge, and I'm like, "Bitch, like it's so high." And then I come to find out most of the Chesapeake, a 6-foot woman could walk and still be like head and shoulders above it, and I was like, well, that's worse. That means I'm falling from a really high height into less than 6 feet of water. That's terrible.
There's a bridge in West Virginia. We're close to we're in Pennsylvania. So if we want to go south, there's pretty much no avoiding, you got to go through, unless we are kind of headed down towards the Maryland way. You go through West Virginia, and there's one bridge there. It's one of the highest in the country, if not the highest. And I went over it once, and it's terrifying. I mean, I had the kids in the car. The kids are little. I think we were on our way to Florida or something, maybe to Disney. And I'm just like, my palms are sweating, and I'm like looking down. I'm like, if we were to go over this thing, you would have time to like say goodbye to everybody. You'd be like, oh my
you'd be
God,
like, I can call my
I love you guys
family.
all. Yeah, you could call
my grandma.
Yeah.
Be like, I'm so sorry, I'm about to die.
That's how high you are. Oh my God, yeah.
There's no shame in being afraid of heights.
Yeah. Well, and see, look, here's the other thing is y'all don't realize, like, when you're over 6 foot, you realize just how much the world is not made for you. It's like guardrails when you go to like view waterfalls and shit like that. That shit hits me mid-thigh. I am top heavy. if somebody bumped me wrong, I could go over a guardrail. And so
How
I'm just
scarred
like,
up? How scarred up is your head from hitting things?
not
Do you
actually.
hit your
So,
head? Because I do. Like I've hit my head on so many low doorways or going downstairs, where the ceiling meets it. I have knocked my head so many times.
I do that. I will do that a lot. I've learned that I can't like be bouncy when I'm going downstairs because I will absolutely like take myself out. I also have been hit in the head with a golf putter.
Oh, jeez.
And yeah, I actually have a scar. You can't really see it, but I have a scar over my right or left eye. Yeah, my left eye.
Jeez.
I worked at Old Navy. Dr. Deep Space says good luck with clothes. I worked at Old Navy for a little while, and we used to have to special order stuff for tall. We had some stuff in the store itself, but a lot of it was you had to order it and get it sent to you.
Yeah.
Dude, my mom and I said we should have opened up a store for tall girls because whenever they did clothing for tall women, they all assumed that you were either a size 00 or that you were a size like 24. And I'm like, bro, what if you're just like normal but tall? Like I just need the sleeves a couple inches longer. I don't need you to like give me a tent or a muumuu. I'm good.
Oh, we got new fresh blood in here.
Hi, Jim.
The Jim. How you doing, the Jim? Tilt your head left. This is clearly a skinny man with a huge head, yeah, and is panicking because a hammer
was stapled
to his head.
Yeah.
Number 4 is a speech bubble.
Done.
Oh, yeah.
Not bad.
That's good, Jim.
Not bad at all.
Jim. That is awesome. Yeah. And trust me, I literally just went on Dungeon Scroll. I'm like, give me a hallway, a couple hallways, one main room, an off room, and then of course a little bit of mystery. So, but yeah, when you do that, yeah.
I feel bad for him now.
Yeah, it's like Thor's hammer. Just
conking
him on the head.
The best part is you even have the staples perfectly.
Yeah.
That's like an industrial stapler too. Oh, this poor guy.
Supposed to be doors, honey. Those are supposed to be doors, not staples.
No, it's a staple. They're industrial staples now.
That's it. My last thing on this, I'm going to say 2 is a reception chamber. They have like nice parties in there, nice dances. And then maybe the chamber is for like if this is an evil guy who runs this place, that's where he like takes the women, like, I don't know, the candles go down and he like, I don't know, absconds with them through that little tunnel and down to 4 where he, I don't know, tortures him or, does other sorts of bad things. Pretty dark and grim, huh? Could be the guy staple though. Yeah. Yeah. God, I can't get that out of my head now.
Well,
I just can't.
Old school dungeons. Like I was stationed in England for a period of time, and we went and did like some ghost crawls at like actual castles and stuff like that. And the old school dungeons, they literally used to have it was just like a 10 or 12-foot drop that didn't have a ladder or anything. They literally would take people and throw them in the hole and let them fall 12 feet. And they'd like break bones and stuff, and then they would just throw food down at them like that. You could always go that route. The reason it's a secret door is because it's where they chuck people and they just drop all the way down, hit a couple things on the way down, end up at 4.
Oh man,
that little offshoot,
terrifying.
That's the drain for potty time.
If you want to get really dark for a second, like I saw this interview with this guy on God, what was it? He was an ex-con. And they're like, well, who was the worst ex-con you ever met? He's like, oh, yeah. He's like, I can tell you right now. He's like, this guy was the blueprint for Buffalo Bill in Silence of the Lambs. Like that character was based on somebody in Philadelphia. He was like a kind of like a religious leader. He'd have church in his home. And yeah, he would just throw these women down in the basement and like chain them up. Yeah. And there's like a lot of, like a lot of truth to that movie. This guy was a complete monster, and he used to torture the other death row guys because apparently he had memorized like all the things that these poor women were like saying down there, like begging for their lives. And he would just, to torture the other death row like inmates, he would just verbatim just like start talking like these women that he had like tortured to death. So yeah, if you didn't know, Buffalo Bill was based on a real person, a real monster.
Put the lotion in the basket.
Oh yeah, awful.
Fucked up guy.
Yeah, how'd we get here?
We got dark. That's why.
Hands up.
Sorry, D.
Ouch, the
Double
hammer.
D.
Yeah.
Well, it's been 2 hours. Actually, when my wife wants me to go out, my daughter and her gal friend are down at a local bar, and they're like, "Come on down." So I'm like, I don't know, I might. Usually we stretch it to 2.5, but yeah, I think I'm gonna eject here. So, Shae the Red.
Throw your website out there one time for us.
So there's actually 2 of them. There is buygaslight.com, which is specifically my artwork, where you can get merch with my artwork and stuff on it. And then there's redvalkyrie.net, where you can get things that are related to our channel. So Dice Dames and Dudes, all of our little in-jokes from our channel, like getting sidetracked, because sigh.
Bingo.
Oh, yeah.
I gotcha.
Ha ha ha.
Yeah. Ah ha ha. It's funny.
Gotta tell you, this is Gaslight, by the way, guys.
Yeah.
Of course, check out the other one. Check out her YouTube channel too. Subscribe, guys. I mean, good. As DM James always says, does it cost you anything to subscribe? And you may just like
your
it.
soul a little bit.
Yeah, that's right.
And
But
if you decided to
I'm
become a
liking this.
channel member for Red Valkyrie, you could potentially get backstage pie. There's a rumor that exists, so you know.
Backstage pie.
Oh, we have
The
inner
only way to
circle.
find out is to join.
You have backstage pie. We have the inner circle. I think we're cheating ourselves.
We
gotta
also
up
have
our
the
game.
Valkyrie flight, because that's all our audience that comes and watches. They are the Valkyrie flight.
We're the ours are the divers.
Yeah, divers. Yeah, we called them.
Deep divers.
We were
didn't lie.
struggling. It's like divvies, doobies. I don't know what the fuck we were
stuck
doing.
with divers.
I like. I'm gonna show my daughter that the Gaslight. I think she will think that is
She
really
will like
cool.
that for sure.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so
Yeah.
cool. And I'm getting, like I said, I'm getting the eyes and the mouth on merch too, because it looks really cool. I put it on a crop top and was like, and now I need to buy a crop top. Like, I really like how that looks, and I need to own that.
There you go. Sai will like that. All right. I think that'll do it. Any benediction, boys? Anything you want to say?
Well, I just want to thank Shae for coming on, and actually,
Thanks for having me.
not just for coming on, but helping us fix that echo problem, because you fixed it immediately. So
Yeah,
thank you.
I've done this a few times.
Yeah.
I should take notes.
Yeah, it was just really enjoying listening to you. Honestly,
yeah,
straight up. It's
You guys are sweet.
Creative people are sometimes very inspiring to listen to.
Oh, that makes me happy to hear. Thank you.
You are very inspiring. Yes, you were a very good guest. It was great to talk to you and Sai from the chat. You guys make a good team. Check them out, guys. Seriously, check them out. Like I said, I kind of like talking to different people, different folks. You know, we have RPG industry people. You know, we had RPG Pundit on. We had Greg Gillespie. But sometimes I like to get. I don't want to call you an outsider, but you have a different perspective.
I'm an outsider. It's fine. I don't.
Yeah.
When we have you back on with Sai, are you guys in the same room, or is it 2 different locations? How do you guys do it?
We do 2 different locations.
Okay.
Gotcha.
All right.
Yeah, so if I'm in this room, this is my Maryland place, and Sai's, in a different state.
Yes.
And
Gotcha.
even if we're both in the same house, we go to separate rooms because it's just easier.
Just easier.
So much easier. Then I don't have to do what y'all do, because I see that and I'm like, that sucks.
Well, we will persevere. We will persevere.
Thanks for coming on tonight.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so
Absolutely,
much.
It was so
Jay.
much fun. Thank you guys.
Yep.
Thank you, Sai.
Yep. Thank you, Sai. Thank you, chat. You guys are the best. DM James, you are the VIP tonight. I owe you a beer. I owe you dinner. I owe you quite a bit, my friend. So thank you so much. I will try to jump in on your next live stream. Show my appreciation to you. All right. That'll do it. Until next week, I will try to pump out a video here pretty soon. Nice. Until then, for Shae, For Crazy Mouse, for Rogan, it's your boy Double D, saying you guys have a great rest of the night. And until we talk again, take care.
Peace.
Peace. Bye.
Hey man, is that Double D? Yeah man, well turn it up man! Let's just go in and like kill all the orcs, right? They're the bad guys, who gives a shit? We just hack and slash and we loot their dead bodies, right? Hack and slash, kill them all, conquer the infidels.
Boy, that campaign sounds like a barrel of fun, doesn't it?
But I am telling you right now, that mother back there is not real.
Somebody who's opening a refrigerator and leaning in, right, is the language of a woman. Somebody who's opening the refrigerator and being cut off halfway through that lean is the voice of like a mermaid or a siren, right?
Honey, what do you mean additional benefits? We turned 65, we got Medicare. That's all there is to it, right?
I'm talking about Medicare Part C, commonly called Medicare Advantage. We have traditional Medicare, which is only Medicare Parts A and B, but not Part C.
Wait.
Honestly, guys like me can't leave soon enough.
We gotta put a little hot sauce on the taco, you know what I mean?
We want this dwarf to be the dwarfiest dwarf.
Right.
We want the elf to be the elfiest elf.
And just the dashiest dash of Tabasco.
Their voices need to carry across water.
I'm a creative. It's a huge drain, right? Because fans can be awful.
You, the one who is moving now. Answer! Experience beige.
When you say white lives matter, they don't. White lives don't matter because white lives aren't a thing.
I disagree. I disagree, Gary.
Lutherville, Marina Del X, Otisburg. Otisburg?
Who's this monster? She's got her own place, man.
Otisburg?
It's a little bitty place.
Otisburg?
Okay, I just wipe it off. That's all. It's a little town.
We'll do it live.
Okay.
We'll do it live! Fuck it! Do it live! I'll write it and we'll do it live! Fucking thing sucks!
In 5, 4, 3.
Great sandwich.
Thank you. I enjoyed having you here. You're a very good co-host.